The inspiration for Dreams actually started when I was working elsewhere and I left and was really trying to discern what I wanted to do next with my life. Though I really loved working with this population. And there were two families, the Sheen family and the Nazer family, that approached me and said, you really need to think about starting something new. I have a son, Derek, who has Down syndrome, and of course, I was very invested in assuring that his future was as bright as it could be. And so, with continued encouragement from Mary Sheen and Jane Nazer, I just decided maybe that would be a good idea. So I would say early January of 2000, I started working on writing bylaws, articles, filing for our 501c3 so we could be a not-for-profit, because I knew it would take grant funding for us to be successful. And I relied on lots of family and friends to do that. People came out of the woodwork to help us write the articles, write the bylaws. I had a gratis attorney, Mr. Foley, who helped write our application for our 501c3. So all of that came through in June of 2000. We determined a set of people to be our first set of board members. It included myself, Mary Sheen, Jane Nazer, Jane Emke, Mildred Pruitt, who also happened to be my aunt, and Marge Hillenmeyer. So we were the core group to begin with. We had no budget. However, my husband and I bought an apartment building over in St. Matthews because we knew for us to be able to fundraise and have the opportunity for people to see us as a viable organization, we would need to have bricks and mortar and really be serving people. So there were 4 identified people. It was Andy, Sherry, Joni, and Nancy, who are our first 4 residents who moved into our Nans Avenue apartment. And they moved in July. Our first employee was a gal named Michelle Winstead, who actually did some what we call now community living supports. She supported them a few hours a week in their apartment so they could live independently. Probably my biggest challenge was a personal one, in that I laugh sometimes and say I gave birth to Dreams with Wings and my twins within a 2-month period. I have twin daughters, Gretchen and Sophia, that were not due until the end of October, but they were born in mid-July. And so the opportunity for just really investing myself in working full-time those first few months was really difficult, because they were in the neonatal intensive care unit until early September of 2000. The other challenges really were just ensuring that those 4 people were taken care of, and then trying to move forward with the other things we needed to do. So I did take that time to start writing applications to the Department of what we now call DDID, the Division of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, to become a waiver provider. And we also wrote a grant to 7 County Services, who at the time was encouraging providers to start because there was such a waiting list for services. So from that grant application, we did get a $25,000 startup grant that we applied towards the salary of the individual we had hired. It didn't take long for the vision to evolve, because my background and experience at the time was residential services. And what I did know from the families that encouraged me to start something is that we needed to be an organization that was there for families when their children needed us most, in particular when they had nowhere else to go and their families were gone. We also wanted to be a place where they felt like it was home, and that the people they lived with were their families. And so we just didn't want to be a roof over somebody's head. That part really was relatively easy. what we quickly discovered with people, because ironically enough, about the same time the state of Kentucky was moving to close institutions, large facilities, and so two of the ladies that lived in our first staff residence, Cindy and Mary, were moved back home from Bowling Green. They lived in a facility called Panorama to Louisville. And so then we had to start looking for things for them to do during the day. And in our looking at those opportunities, almost everywhere we went, people were just sitting in big rooms watching TV. And I had the wonderful opportunity to interview and hire Carolyn Benton, who interviewed for a residential position but had no background. But she had worked extensively in day training and vocational development. So we started a day program so people would have a meaningful place to go. It is funny because one of the challenges may have been everything was in my house. We didn't have money for an office or a space, so we turned my basement into our office, and our day program operated out of there for the first 7 months until we had so many people, my dining room wasn't a functional place to have it anymore. And then we moved to Calvary Lutheran Church, where we had a partnership with that church, and we're able to expand our day program. So I will say that probably in looking at our growth and development, again, we started to do residential services. We quickly moved into day training. Then we had people on waiting lists for jobs. So we hired a supported employment team. We started community living supports. We started our camp program. Now we have waiting lists in our programs for residential. We have a waiting list for our day training. So we need to grow that program. We want to add another residential community for a larger number of people that will blend technology and human capital. We would like to start a business where our folks can serve the community in a meaningful way, and that will also give employment opportunities and job training opportunities for young people that want to learn how to work. And we want to make sure that we create a foundation and continue to grow our resources so that we can continue to be the agency that's there for people when they don't have anybody else. And we're that group right now. There's other folks, of course, I'm not saying other people don't do that, but unfortunately there are a lot of folks in our program now whose families are all gone, and we are their family, and we need to be here for the long haul so that everyone that comes to us will always have a home.
Well, I was really lucky. I worked at Cedar Lake Lodge in LaGrange for about 13 years, and I met Jennifer when she was doing a major program with Cedar Lake, and we both left Cedar Lake, and she said, I have this wonderful idea, is to start a new program. I said, great idea. Let me write a check. And I wrote a very small check. Of course, we had a relationship before because her aunt was my administrative assistant for years. She was fabulous, Mildred. I miss Mildred. And so when Jennifer said she was going to start this, I was so excited about it. And so I had a relationship with the Dr. Scholl's Foundation in Chicago. I said, well, we can go to Dr. Scholl's too every year, which we did for years. And I said, I think at your 10th year, I said, I'll give $1,000 a year. The reason I've supported and wanted to be behind Dreams with Wings since the day I heard about it is because I believe in Jennifer. I think she is a born leader, and she's not afraid of anything. She will do anything, like thinking about opening a franchise. I think that's a great idea. I think I'd open a McDonald's. First of all, they change staff every day, so they must know how to use people, quickly. I think that that would be really good. I'd like to help with that.
And what would you tell the community?
Well, I think anything that Jennifer wants to do, people should back, and they have. you know, and I think it's, I feel blessed to have met Jennifer. And I hope I'll be able to support her the rest of my life.
I became involved with Dreams with Wings 24 years ago. I applied to the organization. At that time, it was opening, I believe, for residential, but that was not what I was interested in. So after meeting with Jennifer and interviewing, we discussed adult day program. And so I originally started our adult day program after our interview. So over the past 24 years, I've met many different clients. Some of my favorite stories have to deal with some of the folks that we've lost throughout the years. Cheryl enjoyed baking, so every year she wanted to bake something for the state fair. And it was a challenge, but she found the recipe. She decided what she wanted to bake. So I remember one year she made a pie. So we made that, carried it in. She was very proud, theming as she presented it to the panel to be judged. The pie looked great, except for we made it on a Friday and we entered it on a Monday, and the meringue shrunk, and so it was like probably a good inch or 2 inch gap of it, but she was very pleased, very proud of her pie and her accomplishments. So we entered that, and every year there was always something from cakes, we did cakes, pies, cupcakes, and she actually won a ribbon, and so that was pretty exciting to see.
When I met Jennifer, it was in 2000, and she had just started Dreams with Wings, and it was running it out of the basement of her house. And the more I got to know her and the more she talked about Dreams with Wings, I knew that I wanted to help in some way. And so my particular skill set was in graphic design. So I got involved with helping them with their brand and their identity and marketing pieces. But at the same time, I was able to interact with several of the clients, particularly as they were pursuing their artwork. And I was just amazed, kind of blown away by the pure creativity of the clients. They just didn't have any hesitation, or they weren't intimidated by working on art pieces, and they were just the purest form of art that I had really encountered. So they taught me a lot, just about, being free and doing what the art that you feel. So I feel like that was a gift for me to and kind of be enriched by what the clients were doing. And then the other thing that always impressed me about Jennifer is, she's an amazing person and puts so much of herself in her family and her clients. So if she needed help on something, I felt like I had no right to say, no, I'm too busy, because this woman does everything and does it well, and always with a smile on her face. So I was happy to join the board and feel like I could contribute in some way. But just watching Jennifer, and she's just been a mentor.
I can't remember the exact year, but I knew Jennifer Frohmeyer before she started Dreams with Wings, and met her sometime, I think, in the early 90s when she worked for another organization. And she was very innovative, creative, dedicated, passionate about supporting people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, really to live in the community and to have a good life. And so I knew her professionally. I knew her through my work at the time. I lived in Louisville and I worked at 7 counties. And then I later started working for the Human Development Institute at the University of Kentucky, but still lived in Louisville. And so somehow just continued to know her. I knew about Dreams beginning. And so it was at some point in the late 90s when this gentleman right here, Clinton Montgomery, for whom I was at the time, I was Clinton's legal guardian. I had helped Clinton to buy his own home, which is rather unusual. Don't know of too many people with intellectual disabilities who've actually been able to buy their own home. I've been able to help Clinton leave a very bad place, and just kind of long story short, was able to use some state general fund dollars, a lot like how Michelle P. Waiver now works, but to help Clinton to leave that place and then to support him to live in his own place with essentially a service that we would now call shared living through the Supports for Community Living waiver. In any event, I wanted to work with an agency for a variety of reasons to help manage really the financial aspects of this relationship, of this arrangement rather. So I met with Jennifer and explained to her what I wanted to have happen. And so she thought about it, we talked more, and she agreed to it. So that was probably back, I'm thinking 95, 96. So this is Clinton Montgomery, and this is Bonnie Hicks, who actually at that time was his housemate. This is his sister, Linda Montgomery, who at that time, when this picture was taken, lived in a group home in Shelbyville. And then these are two other friends, Linda McAuliffe and Nancy Brucheri. Nancy has since died, but was a great supporter of Clinton. So we were kind of part of Clinton's little circle of support. Clinton and Linda's parents had died a long, long time ago. And so they were not from a family of any kind of means. I would just say that. But Clinton came with, or was a person of very, very deep discipline to work. His favorite expression, or one of his favorite expressions, he was a man of few words, but was no work, no money. And that's a smart man, regardless of whatever his IQ score was. So Clinton worked and actually was working full time at this point at the Courtyard Marriott there off of Firstborn Parkway, and also still received his Social Security disability insurance benefits. So that's how I was able to figure out financially he could afford to buy a house. He qualified for a mortgage with Fifth Third Bank. As his guardian, I was able to sign all the forms, etc. So in any event, I partnered with Dreams sometime in the late 90s around Clinton's living arrangement. Clinton unexpectedly died in 2003. I was literally on my way to Louisville. I had moved to Lexington sometime in about 1996. So 2003, I was on my way to Louisville and actually was planning to pick up Clinton later that day because Clinton also liked to mow his yard. His house had a very significant yard, not huge, but it really met his needs. We were going to go buy a new lawnmower because his just had it. And I had a call from another friend who was a friend of Bonnie's, and also we had all been work colleagues together, to let me know that Clinton had died in his sleep. And actually it was April 1st of 2003. So that was rather stunning. So, but in any event, I was able to make the funeral arrangements, went on to Louisville, make the funeral arrangements. And his funeral was just such a celebration of his life. He had lived really, since I helped him leave the awful place, he had really lived a really good life. And I can still remember many people being there from Dreams. He also had people there from Dare to Care, where he had been volunteering. He also had people from the Courtyard Marriott. And I had brought Linda from Shelby County. I picked her up on my way. And it was just a really great celebration of Clinton's life. And I just was really, really grateful to Dreams at that time for what they had helped us to continue, for what they had helped me to continue in terms of Clinton's life. So I then decided for a variety of reasons to take on that same role in Linda's life. Linda had a state guardian. I was able to approach state guardianship, decided I would take on that role in her life, petition the court in Shelby County, but with the understanding she would move to Louisville and she would live in Clinton's house with Bonnie. So I'm still partnering with Dreams at this point in time, I'm pretty sure, around Linda's arrangement. And so Linda then at some point, she did work, but she also started attending Dreams State Training Program when they were in a location off Bardstown Road in a church. So Carolyn Bunton has known Linda. She'd have to tell us, but I don't know, over 20 years. So I've just been extraordinarily fortunate. Linda also, at some point, I made the decision it wasn't going to work financially for the house to continue. And so I approached Jennifer Frohmeyer again with, was it possible that Linda might be able to move into one of the staff residences, even though she did not have a Medicaid waiver? She had some state general fund dollars. And Jennifer agreed to it. So again, Jennifer has just been such a collaborator, co-laborer, partner throughout just both Clinton and Linda's lives. Linda was able eventually to leave that staff residence on Browns Lane and move into her own apartment with the building there on Hikes Lane. And I can still remember the day of the dedication, and Linda being the first person to go into the building. She was quite excited to have her own apartment. We survived COVID together. We survived Linda having a fractured pelvis in 2020. So there just have been a number of other staff. I won't belabor it just in terms of the time, but just a number of other staff with Dreams who've been very significant in, again, supporting both Linda and me for Linda to have a good life and to support me in my role in Linda's life.
Dreams with Wings started over 25 years ago, and it's evolved. What I have seen it evolve into is a tremendous program for people of various ages, youngest starting at 7, oldest are in their 80s, come to a place that they're very comfortable and very happy and accepted and loved. And it's a big family. I first became involved with Dreams with Wings when my girls, they attended St. Francis of Assisi school. It was part of their Heart Paths program when they were in the 3rd or 4th grade. And they would come and the clients would come and they would visit with them and interact with them. And they'd come home and tell wonderful stories about the clients and who they met and how it changed their lives. And then over time, I'd see them out and about, and I've been here 11 years now, so there was an opportunity arose 11 years ago, and I've never looked back.
And then do you have a favorite memory from your time working with Dreams?
I'd have to say one of my favorite memories is a couple of years ago, one of our clients, our oldest client at the time, his name is Bobby, passed away. And they decided, his older brother, that they didn't really want a funeral. And Jennifer got together with the older brother and said, but we'd love to have a celebration of life. And so he finally agreed, and we all went to the celebration of life, and all the clients were there, and they all got up and told wonderful stories. And it was just an absolute fabulous tribute to him. And I think his brother was very surprised what an impact Bobby's life had on everybody. And his life did make a difference. And he had lots of friends and lots of stories and made a difference in a lot of people's lives. And it was a celebration of life. And in the end, it was just one big family.
Hello, my name is Teresa Hughes. I'm a staff person here at Dreams with Wings. I started at Dreams in August of 2001, so it's almost 24 years that I have been on staff here. I have many favorite memories. I think the memories that come to mind the quickest are the memories of the times we spent on vacation. We take all of our clients, all of our friends, along with many staff, on vacations, and they have been some of the most enjoyable times I've spent. We just enjoy going on laid-back vacations and sharing our time together, cooking together, dancing together, singing together, and those are some of my most enjoyable memories. There's a lot of memories that are very close to my heart of spending time with the ladies here at Bauer. We go and do a lot. We've joined Jewish Community Center. We swim together. We've gone to plays together, movies together. We just sit when it's a cold Saturday and just sit and enjoy being together, just coloring together, watching a movie. Those are all special memories for me. Again, there are so many memories that I just can't describe them all.
So I became involved with Dreams with Wings, let's see, back in September of 2006. I was working at a previous employer, and my wife, Brooke, she was already working here, and I thought it was time for a change. So I already knew the Mr. and Miss Fromeyer, so it was almost a foot in the door, but I left one organization and came to Dreams in 2006. You know, going on 19 years, I don't have one specific moment or one specific story. I've been on a lot of vacations, and I have so many stories, so many moments that stick. I mean, I could probably write a book, but going out on, you know, boats and pulling people on tubes and seeing the smiles on their faces, hearing them say that, you know, that was so fun, and then parents saying they would have never believed that their son or daughter would have ever done that, but, you know, get them away for a week and it's a totally different person. So I have a lot of those moments that stick out. When I first started at the day program, we were in the basement of a church. All the staff used to call it a dungeon because it was poorly lit. We had one big room, we had a kitchen. I mean, it was just one big basement room. And then we've grown, and then we've moved into the current location of our day program now, I believe in like 2014. And we were just in the downstairs, and that was it. And then we've grown again. So I've been in a little room that we've outgrown, and then they put us in another room that our group outgrown, and then they moved us upstairs, and now we've outgrown that area. So I mean, we've done nothing but grown in the 19 years that I've been here.
I think it's just an achievement to see and witness all the individuals and all the goals that they make and do, and seeing them happy. And when they're happy and doing what they like to do, that's what means the most to me. There's a lot of stories and a lot of memories for being here so long. I guess there's vacation stories and memories. There's a lot of them. I can't pinpoint one story or memory. There's been a lot of good, funny stories. There's been some great memories. There's been some sad memories since we've starting to lose some of our older folks. Those are the memories I like, but the memories of them are the best. I think it's a good way for the community to see that an organization of our type can last for 25 years. There has been agencies that have not been able to last 2 years or maybe 5 years, but for us to last for 25 years, that just shows you how much the community is involved with us and how we reach out to the community and how our organization can do so well.
Well, I actually started here about 14 years ago, and so I guess when I started, we were looking at around the 10-year anniversary, and we were down at the Calvary Lutheran Church at that time in a basement, and so I started at the day program, and we were just down in this kind of dingy basement, and finally was able to grow a little bit. Probably I actually can't even remember when we moved over here now, but that was one big step, you know, when we bought this new building that we're currently in, and was able to bring in more people, and at first we were even like just downstairs as a group, and then finally had to utilize the second floor of the building just because we were having so many people. So just since I've been here, I've just seen the growth of the company, just getting more people, more individuals coming, and I know just in general the services that we provide have grown since then. I don't know if there's just one memory. There's so many. Of course, all of them involve, our guys that we work with. Usually somewhere we're out in the community and someone just says or does something kind of, sometimes can be a little inappropriate, but we've, especially working with Bobby, who's unfortunately passed away, working with him, I would never know what he would say or do, and so a lot of times I had to quickly think about how I'm going to handle a situation and diffuse something, because he might ruffle some feathers if someone's not familiar with him.
Well, 19 years ago, one of my good friends, her sister was friends with, I think she was one of our residential folks here, Elizabeth, and they came and they needed staff for the new home that they were opening up in Fern Creek. And so we both came and we both interviewed, and I think it was only really space for one person, but they needed someone to work on the weekends, and she could not. So at that time, my father had just had surgery, but I couldn't work on the weekends, but I knew that eventually I would. So I was hired, and I went into a house, in the Fern Creek house, and in that house they had this interchangeable group. It was like four people, and three people. They all worked together, so they were actually running the house. And I kind of went in with this little group. I was trained by Bartley's parents. This Bartley over here. I was trained by his parents, and I eventually became the house manager. And I stayed there I was with Bart for 15 years. We had a couple of people come in during that time. So it was the greatest experience. Bartley has since passed on, but that's how I was introduced to Dreams. I think Dreams is the best agency, residential agency out. Our executive director and the board, they're always finding new services to provide. This agency, they look at family as being important, because we don't work with our individuals like, just to work. They become part of our lives. They become integrated in our families. They see our grandchildren born, the whole nine. So Dreams is the best agency, in my opinion, out there. And I think as a whole, we, the care and the love that we give across the board to all of the individuals has remained constant, and I think it will always be constant, because that's just who we are. We vet our staff that's coming in to make sure that they can give them what we are already giving them. So yes, family. My one favorite memory, his name was Keith. Keith lived at the Fern Creek house, and he also has since passed away. But we were at Walmart, and Keith had always wanted to drive a car. So this particular day, I was like, well, come on, Keith, let's just get in this, like the mobile cart. And watching him maneuver through the store, of course he needed some help, but watching him maneuver through the store, backing up into stuff, and it was raining, and then all of a sudden, all this sun comes shining through, and he's riding around in the store, picking up stuff and backing in and backing up, and just the smile that he had on his face out, during this time, it made it all worth it.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Head, and I have worked for Dreams with Wings now for 20 years. I am a direct service provider, DSP, which I assist with independent living, that's just teaching different skills. And I think the thing I most like about Dreams with Wings are my fellow peeps here.
Yes.
I've known these fine people for over 20 years now, and it is just an excitement. It's just an exciting job to come to every day because you keep learning different things about your people, yourself, co-workers, and it's just a lot of fun because we have fun going out into the community and just doing different activities to be acclimated, and it's just a great job for me. So, and I'm been told I am stuck with them, and I can never ever quit.
Right.
I actually became involved with Dreams with Wings previously many years ago. I started working out at their apartment building out on Heights Lane. I started there doing community living supports with some of the clients that lived there. It was an apartment where 8 individuals lived, and I was the site manager at that building and did some of those duties as well. And that's kind of how I got introduced to Dreams and working with those clients in their apartments. Working at Dreams with Wings, my second go round in the therapy department now here out of the day program, I genuinely just enjoy getting to see a lot of familiar faces from before when I was here, and getting to work with our guys just in a different capacity, working on whatever goals, whatever motivates them to create that sense of independence in their life. So it's really nice to get to come in this time with a different approach and get to work on individuals with some measurable goals to where we can see progress over time.
I actually came here a little over 7 years ago. Jennifer Fromeyer needed some help in the office, so I just came to help out a friend. And 7 years later, I'm still here. It was supposed to be short term, but what happens when you get here is you fall in love with the mission, and you fall in love with the people, and you just fall in love with everything they do. So you just want to be here to help them do whatever they need to get done. I have a million favorite memories because there's so many fun things that we do here. I came to help with administrative work, but I think about things like going and doing line dancing, for a derby party, or the Eclipse party that they had, and you see all of our clients out there and they're all got in their little glasses and they just have so much fun. And so everything that you go to an event and the people are dancing and laughing and having social time and having a good time, those are probably my favorite memories of anything that we've done here.
Working in this field has been, something that I look forward to, coming into work every day, and there's new stories every day that the clients have, just watching every one of them grow. Someone's been here for years, some just started, but with me, it's just been, when you first started out, you're kind of scared coming into this field because you don't know what to expect, but as you've been here like I have for 16 years, you get used to how they are and same questions they ask, but there's never a dull moment every day. They always come in with, different stories from the weekends, or if they go on outings out in the community, they have something to talk about when they get back. It's been a blast, and I look forward to each and every day when I come to work.
I met Jennifer Fromeyer because I was interested in working in the disability community after I left corporate America. And I have a sister with Down syndrome and a nephew with autism, so it just seemed like a full circle moment. Plus, I had also helped plan a summer camp about 12 years before that it just so turned out was part of Dreams with Wings. And it just seemed like the natural fit, and I have never been happier.
And then what is your favorite story?
So many to choose from. Actually, this mural probably is one of my favorite stories because we had an art therapist come in and help us make a mobile mural, and it signifies a lot about Dreams with Wings itself, our clients, and especially the teen and young adult, now youth programs, whereby we see the caterpillar indicates not only the origin story of Dreams with Wings, started small, along the way it became bigger and has grown and flown and become a beautiful butterfly, but also our clients we start serving them young and they grow to be active, productive members of society. And all of our programs themselves start that way too. It's an idea, it's a concept that takes flight and starts to bloom.
Let's see. I've been here for almost 5 years, and I would have to say the love that I get from all the clients and especially the staff, how supporting they are in the things that we do.
Luckily at Dreams with Wings at Support Employment, we have had several success stories. And honestly, you know, I feel anybody that does get a job, even if they don't stay with it, is still it's something you can still learn from. You know, none of us, when we start out working, stayed in the same position as where I am today. I've had lots of jobs before this. So, you know, if a client stays out of position that we find for them or that they find for themselves, doesn't make it successful or unsuccessful, because we are always learning from it. But we have several people that have been at their jobs for years and years. Even during the COVID time, they might have lost it, and they were luckily able to be hired back once things were able to reopen. But we have several people at, you know, Derek Fromeyer at TJ Maxx and Jeremy at Dave & Buster's. They have been there prior to COVID, so that's 5+ years now. So we've been very fortunate and had many people be at their job for several years in Support Employment, and we're very happy about that. And we're happy just to move forward with them and making sure that they stay successful at their jobs. But if the time comes and they need to change or want that change, we'll be there to help with that as well, because it's just part of life and growing.
For a board member, being close to the clients and seeing the results that your effort has helped the clients, it's a fast reward position. It isn't a position where your clients or whoever you're serving is remote. You get to see the results happening right away. I think the first thing is to get them out of a small environment and into a larger housing, larger, I guess, you know, you call it housing. Even though, I know the best of my most accomplishment is starting the transportation part rather than using cabs and cab drivers to bring these people in and out. We either have our own cabs and our own drivers and our own transportation, and that's made it a whole lot more effective, and it's a lot less expensive than depending on cab drivers and Uber drivers. I'm hoping that more of the clients' families will participate in helping us help their children. To me, the secret and the big problem is getting the extended family involved in helping the person with a disability. If we can get that, I think the people as on the board of Dreams with Wings would feel a whole lot more productive if they're working with the family and the family is doing their part, just with nothing more than visiting and taking care of them more and doing transportation.
I have a couple key moments. Mary Ann, she actually used to go here. She's now resides at a nursing home. But we went to the fair. We go to the fair every year. It's like a thing that we do with each of the groups. And she really likes firefighters. And the look on her face when we introduced her to a group of firefighters was amazing. She just is today. Every year we go to Caulfield's as well, the Halloween store. And we try on masks with the clients, and everybody laughs, and it's fun. And a couple of those, and then definitely probably our morning dance parties. We usually do dance and karaoke every single day in the mornings, and the clients are so funny, and they love to sing and dance, and there's so many different stories. Honestly, I don't know if that answers your question, but definitely
Dreams with Wings offers a variety of programs and support for children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We make a difference by providing compassionate care and by promoting social inclusion, by giving our people a community, and by also empowering those individuals by giving them a sense of independence.
We found Dreams with Wings 24 years ago. They had just been open for a year prior to us coming. And when we met Jennifer and Carolyn, had a sit down with them to interview for the program, we all fell in love at the same time. Chip and I looked at each other and we said, this is the place for you. He started with the day program 24 years ago, and he's been there since. He loves his friends. He loves his outings. He loves being present in the community, and Dreams does that for him and his other friends in the program. He goes to his summer camp. He loves that. He is getting a little older and a little less able to get around, but because of the staff at Dreams, they're remarkable with him and his needs. So we really I feel confident and comfortable with the programs here at Dreams.
I became first involved with Dreams when Matthew was actually in high school. And I'm a single mother, and we were having some issues at home, basically with the living environment and his respect of me, etc. And Dreams was able to provide a person that came into the house and worked with him several days a week, and also would take him out and do community involvement things and kind of give me relief and him relief for me too. So that was the start. And then after high school, he had went and went to Carl Perkins for vocational training. And then when he came back, he moved into one of their supported housing.
And then how has Dreams made an impact on your life or Matthew's life?
It's had a tremendous impact. We were able to continue our home environment back in high school. I'm not sure that we would have been able to continue that home environment had it not been for Dreams. And on into the future, it has provided him a safe living environment that he has the freedoms that he wants to there, but they also provide respite care, community-based education that takes him into the community, and they're really able to specialize what Matthew's issues are, like dietary and exercise is a big thing, and then housekeeping. They've also really went to a lot of effort to get the right person that fits for him.
Well, in our particular case, for my brother Paul, he is an adult with intellectual disabilities, and we had a need for emergency housing because he was asked to leave a place that he had lived in for 13 years. And so we were faced with having to find placement for him. So that's when we came across Dreams, and they were a lifesaver for us. Well, I think for my brother, it's just seeing him grow and strive in a way that maybe we didn't think he could, and not knowing what the future would hold for his life and living arrangements, and just the fact that he is just has grown and loves being part of the community and being able to be as social as he can.
We became involved with Dreams with Wings initially about 12 years ago. Brent was at another adult day program, and his caseworker did not feel like he was getting enough interaction, and she suggested that I look with Dreams with Wings. At the time, Dreams with Wings was in the basement of a church. They did not have their own facility yet. When I went down into that basement, I saw a couple clients, but I didn't really see anyone else. And I heard a voice behind me say hello, and I turned around to face an individual who had actually been a dental patient of mine for many years. He had never spoken to me in our appointments, and so I was very surprised to actually hear his voice. He told me his name, and he introduced himself to my son, and I immediately thought, if Dreams with Wings can do this for this individual, I'm in. So from that day forward, we knew that this was the place for Brent. Well, Dreams with Wings has been phenomenal for our entire family. My husband, myself, our daughter, who actually worked at Dreams with Wings for a little while, my parents who are involved with Dreams with Wings, my extended family who loves to donate to Dreams with Wings, because they all see the difference that it's made in Brent. He's become more social. He is out in the community. He loves to be a part of anything Dreams with Wings does. I have to say, it has truly, truly impacted our entire family for the better, and we feel very, very blessed to be a part of the Dreams with Wings family.
We found out about Dreams with Wings when Jennifer Fromeyer came to speak at Temple Shalom. My friend invited me to come and hear her speak, and they had some other people that were at Dreams with Wings, participants that were at Dreams with Wings, and they spoke. And so that's how we found out about it. And the first thing that was available for Hunter to try was the evening program, the one Heather does. I'm trying to think what they call it now, where they go about town and go places and do things. And that was our first experience with Dreams with Wings. And that was good for Hunter because he had really not had any social interaction to speak of once the COVID started. So some of the gains that he made in high school and things like that just kind of disappeared because he wasn't using his skills, and he wasn't being introduced to new skills and how to deal with people and things like that. And so it did a tremendous amount for his socialization and confidence. So we were able to get him into the day program, and he was welcomed there with open arms, and he just he feels very confident going there. It's really built his confidence in himself. It makes him happy. And if you've seen him run up the stairs the mornings that he goes, he practically takes the stairs 2 at a time. He's so anxious to get there. And he really likes the people there, the other participants, and he is very, very fond of the leaders of the group, particularly Karen and Ricky and Brian. Those three, he is just very comfortable, very confident with them.
Friendship and socialization have been wonderful in knowing that his summer days, his brain was still going to be stimulated. He was still going to get physical activity in the summer and be out in the community, but with his friends. I can go to work, my husband can go to work with the peace of mind that we know he is in the best hands during the summer. We don't live too far from the location, from all the Dreams locations, so that's wonderful. But he had several good friends that were there, so we were counting down the days till he turned 13 when he could start attending the camp.
My daughter receives a lot of services, or has received a lot of services from Dreams of the Wings throughout her life, and it started with summer camp, which I think is the favorite program of every summer camper who's ever attended, because they start when they're, I want to say, middle school, and they can go until they hit age 20. So when you hit 21, you can't attend. So 20 is your last year. But it honestly is kind of like the highlight of their year, because on summer camp, they get to go and hang out with their friends, and Dreams of the Wings puts them in a van where 3 or 4 of them is partnered with 2 summer camp. I know I'm spacing on the name. They're not assistants; they're counselors. That's it. So 4 of them will be in a van with 2 summer camp counselors, and they will all go and do these activities, and then the whole group comes together at a water park or some other event, and they just do fun things. But I'd say the summer camp is the highlight, and they look forward to that, because I think that's the first bit of freedom that they sort of independence that they have in their life, where normally mom and dad schleps them here or there and they do this activity or that activity. But this time mom or dad drops them off in the morning and they get to hang out with all their friends, and then they get to go with their best 3 or 4 friends and the 2 counselors to all these activities. So summer camp, I think, is a big favorite. And then once she graduated high school, we started using the teen and young adult program that Heather Sauer has built, and that has been fabulous. She's done drama, and she's done yoga, and she's done drumming activities, and Heather is really quite brilliant at coming up with activities for all the kids. And that's usually like 4:30 to 6:30 or so, once or twice a week. And that group also does karaoke, usually at a local institution. It's usually been 10 Cent here recently. And I think karaoke has grown into an institution that the individuals and families both like, because those are very well attended, and those are marked on our personal calendars for this is karaoke night. And I guess the final thing is that she receives CLS services from Dreams of Wings. And then I'd like to shout out Ethan, because Ethan has come to a bunch of our planning meetings for Michelle P. and help organize all these activities and explain them for our Michelle P. folks who keep us legal with Michelle P. So I'd say the impact is that Emily has just felt more independent, because and Dreams of the Wings has fostered that, because Emily has a desire to be independent, but her ability to get there, you can do all you want with the parents trying to help them, but until they do it on their own, or do it on their own with assistance from a counselor or an assistant from Dreams of the Wings, that's really where the independence start to blossom. And so I'd say the biggest impact is a growing independence.
Parker loves the summer program, Dreams with Wings. It's been great for his personal development, his social skills, and his maturity. For the last several summers, he's made new friends with whom he stays connected year-round. And we have seen him grow in independence and maturity. I think he really learned to be more independent through all the different adventures the camp has over the summer. And the different adventures means the campers have to adapt to new schedules and new activities, and that's great to get out of any kind of routine. He also has found new interests and developed new skills because of all the different activities and things that they do over the course of the summer. He comes home every day with excited to tell us about his day and whatever activities they went out in the community and did. Well, for us, the two biggest things were number one, socialization. Teenagers need to be hanging out with other teenagers, and they need to be making new friends and having that kind of constant interaction. They really need that for their socialization. And second, it was how the camp gets out in the community. Young people need to be learning and experiencing the world around them, and Dreams gets them out where they can do new things and have new adventures every day. Parker loves school, but kids need to learn, and they need to have fun outside the classroom too.
Yeah, Chris, his mother left him when he was very young. She just took off and he never saw her again. So of course that's been very difficult for him, having a mother, but I raised him until all the way up until 10, he's 50 years old now. And I raised him until he was 38, and I decided, I have to do something. I'm not going to live forever, so I was just checking different places, and nothing ever, just stood out to me. These group homes, I didn't like that too much, and he's really above average. He's moderate mentally, in his cognitive decline. He's mentally moderate, but I just happened to run across somebody named Missy. I don't remember her last name, but she was working with Dreams at the time. And she recommended Dreams' apartment over in Bauer Avenue. And I just went over and looked at it, and it seemed like a nice place. There's a couple of buildings. There's 2 buildings there in Bauer where people stay there. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. And so we put him in there. And at first it was kind of rough, He was under my wing for 38, 39 years, and then he's out in the open. So right down there in St. Matthews, some bars and all that. So it was a big adjustment for both of us, but he's doing well now, and Dreams has been very good, and it's worked out well. I don't think there's a special moment. It's just that his adjustment to being there, and it's Jennifer has been the Dreams Wings. It was very helpful for me. It's been a lifesaver for me, and we've done a lot of work on the building. I've done some work on the building because that's not a HUD building. The other 2 are HUD buildings. Chris is not a HUD building, so some of the work done there has been by ourselves. But no specific story. It's just been a good relationship, and I'm appreciative of everything that Jennifer and the organization has done.
What I like about Dreams Wings is that every summer I meet these nice counselors, and we do a lot of fun activities. Like we go to the pool, we go to the movies. That's my favorite thing to do. We go mini golfing. Sometimes we go to an ice cream place in Indiana. That's really nice. Dreams has supported me by exploring my creativity with my autism. Like a few years ago, I didn't even notice I was a pretty good speaker until I participated in my first town show where I recited Martin Luther King's I Had a Dream speech, and now every year I host a town show. And I also get encouraged to meet some new friends, and I meet a lot of them. They actually go to my school in Phoenix.
We do Schools and Scriptures come on Tuesdays. Sometimes we usually do art. We do go for walks the Tyler Park, Cherokee Park. And some of the parks we go to Barn Theater and Derby Center Playhouse. One of them. It used to be an old. Then when we went to the fair a couple times, saw the cakes, the fairgrounds, went to the circus once.
Hang out with my family and hang out with my friends and hang out at the church, at the pumpkin stroll, and eating food and eating music and write about music and I like to write poems and read. I like to sing. I like Frozen.
And then what do you like to do at Dreams with Wings?
Go to the park with all my friends.
My name is Angie.
My name is Elizabeth.
My name's Nancy.
Okay, Angie, what do you like about living here at Bower with Dreams with Wings?
We go out and do things on the weekend.
And what else?
We go to the pool. We go to the plays. And we go to other things.
Liz?
Yeah.
Tell me some of the things you like about living at Bower with Dreams with Wings.
We get out the weekend. We go to the pool.
Nancy, what do you like about living at Bower with Dreams with Wings?
I like just about everything we do.
And what are some of the things we do?
We go out for dinner and sometimes lunches. We do a little bit of shopping. And we also do, sometimes we do arts and crafts.
Angie has a job. Angie, can you tell us about your job?
My job is to do tables, put out numbers on tables, take the numbers from people that does the pizza, and then go around doing the pizza and stuff like that.
And what is the name of the place that you work at?
Blaze Pizza.
Okay, Liz, now we know that unfortunately the place that you worked at had to close. But can you tell us how much you liked it and what the name of it was and what you did?
I did all the bar, all the people, and then the people.
And what was the name of the place that you used to work at that had to close?
How about donut shop?
Okay, so you would like to get another job, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And the supportive employment
Yeah.
at Dreams with Wings is going to help you find another job, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're excited about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy living 2809 Rita house. It's a beautiful house. I love living with Tina and Michelle. We get along so good. And I love my bedroom. I have all art stuff up there with Tiffany. And my bedroom's so big, I love it. I love the whole house. for his dad.
And then what do you like about Dreams with Wings?
I love it to go out. I love Dreams with Wings. Staff is good. Karen, Robbie, Tiffany, all the staff is great here. Very good program. My
Yeah, what does it mean to you to live with your friends and
Oh,
in your house?
I'm happy. Yeah, we go out and stuff. We do things, and I go out with Betty and Krista. We go bowling Saturday. We go to church. Sunday, I'm busy. I'm never home. With my friends and stuff.
So you would say that Dreams with Wings has supported you for a very long time?
Yeah. Well, I was here 10 years with Dreams with Wings. I love it. They really support me good.
Mary Cat, how do you feel about your house?
Huh?
How do you feel about your house?
I like it.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it, but man.
You like living there?
Yeah, I do. I've been living there a long time. I think it's 2001 I moved there after mother died.
What do you like the most about it?
I like it because it's convenient and everything.
Cozy?
Huh?
Is it cozy?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
I think it's cozy. No.
How's it having Margie as there?
All right.
You guys are pretty close, huh?
I know her a long time. So,
So what do you like about coming to Dreams with Wings?
most everything.
Most everything? Like the activities?
Huh?
You like the activities that we do?
Yeah.
You like the people?
Yeah. I enjoy coming here, one thing.
I love my friends, and I've been here 20 years in August, and I volunteer at the Grand, and I love my extended family here.
I've been here since 2005, nearly 20 years. I've been with Congress 22 years.
That one. Yeah. Too close.
What do you like about your house? Katie, what do you like about your house?
Keeping it clean.
How long have you lived here?
Since April,
2000. You've been here for 20 years.
20 years. And I work at Taco Bell.
So here we have Robbie Elsie, Tracy Fleener, and Katie Cameron. They have been here for 20 years, which it opened in 2005. This is independent living, and each of them brings some absolutely wonderful qualities to our apartment buildings. They absolutely interact well. They all have done different things with Special Olympics. Robbie, can you tell me what you've done with Special Olympics, please?
Well, I've done basketball, retired from there. I've been doing bowling since 1996, up to the time I lived here. So, I've been doing special for a long time since then.
Tracy, can you tell me what you've done with Special Olympics?
I've done some swimming from 2013 up to 2 years ago. I retired. I did it through elementary school up to high school.
And Katie, what sport do you enjoy the most right now?
Softball.
Softball? And what else have you been playing? What sport have you been playing lately?
Bowling.
Bowling. Okay. So each and every one of you have been here for 20 years. And what is it else that makes your apartments special? Is there something that makes it special? Tracy, would you like to answer that question?
Yes. I love enjoying the activities.
Okay, what kind of activities do you enjoy doing at Dreams with Wings?
I like the pumpkin stroll.
Is there anything else?
I help with the homeless.
Robbie, what other things have you enjoyed throughout the years at Dreams with Wings?
Everything the activities we used to do back then with Dreams with Wings.
What kind of activities have you done throughout the years?
We took, in the past, we took field trips to the JCC Community Center, watch plays, and go to the Huber's Farm, that kind of thing.
Katie, is there any special activities that you like, that you've enjoyed through Dreams with Wings?
To go to different Monday and Wednesdays.
Monday and Wednesdays? And also, what's another thing that you do once a month on Thursday evenings?
Grocery shop.
No, well, that too, but also to Faith Club.
Big club.
And what do you enjoy about Faith Club?
Yesterday we did a good deed. We put snacks together for the homeless.
Okay. So, Katie, I would like to ask you now about supportive employment and at Taco Bell. And you work with Christina and Savannah. And can you please tell us what you do at Taco Bell and how they help you?
Tables off, trash, take a garbage out, clean lemons and men's, and I have test cards for that.
Escorts.
with pictures on them.
Okay. And how does Christina and Savannah help you?
They come in when I do each bathroom to check that I did it right.
And Tracy, so I know that you're retired working
Yes.
from Kroger's,
Yes.
correct? And so what do you do now?
I used to volunteer at Forest Springs, and I left there and I do the Grand, which is in Norton Commons, and I help with all the activities and make copies.
Great. And Robbie, please tell us about Kroger's.
Well, actually, I've been with Kroger's 22 years this last month. And I do Friday in customer service. And I take stuff back as usual, you know, have bagged and stuff like that.
As one of the newer members of the Dreams with Wings staff, it has been eye-opening and exciting to learn about who we are and what we do. One of the first things that I dove into was figuring out and studying our strategy. So last year, the team spent a good amount of time creating how we are going to move forward. And so we have been meeting regularly and executing very clear tasks that will do this. Some of those include things like, we are a little bit of a lesser known gym in the community. So how do we educate people more? So we're working on a new communication strategy. We also are looking at how to increase our volunteers. By volunteers, most people think it's volunteers helping us, but it's actually how we volunteer also out into the community. We have a group for 2 years that has been delivering Meals on Wheels. We have done Operation Brightside this year. We plant at the Nature Center and have for a number of years. So thinking about how we work in the community differently has been very good. Another big piece of that strategy has been expanding our brick and mortar footprint, and that's going to be dual fold. How do we expand our footprint literally in spaces, but then by doing that, we can also expand our services to more people and increase our types of programs. Really, what we are embracing with our strategy and looking going forward are 3 main things. Compassion for our clients and for each other. Impact, how do we have an impact, again, internally, but also externally, and community. And how do we do all of that as a community of our clients and in our broader community of Louisville.
And then what is a dream that you have for the future of this organization?
I think just continued success. It seems like they're, over the years, they are constantly building programs and being stronger in their programs, and also their presence in the community and the support that they receive from the community that allows the individuals autonomy and just being able to live life as to the fullest extent they can.
My dream or hope for Dreams is that Dreams would still be able to continue to provide high quality services to the people that they're providing services to with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and just to be able to be sustainable through whatever cuts may come along at some point in the future.
I would love to see more apartments to be available for our clients to come and live independently.
I just, hopefully continue to grow the program. We're kind of outgrowing our space that we're in here just for the day program. So, I'd like to see maybe some way that we can grow our day program. And also working on more supportive employment opportunities. We're kind of working on something right now, trying to think outside of the box, something that's a little more unique, and exploring those avenues. And hopefully we can continue to do that.
I hope it continues to be the same. Just the growth in the community, the programs, the daily activities that they do. He loves it, and I hope it stays around for another 25 years.
I guess I think what I would like to see different or happen in the future of Dreams is probably more group-to-group outings. This way, our guys, they can get a chance to learn about each other, learn from each other, so they can get along a little better. And I think that the influence of other people can rub off them. That way they don't have to necessarily rely on Dreams only to teach them self-advocacy and advocating for others and showing love and kindness toward each other. They can learn it from each other.
If you look at this field, it's expanding everywhere. If you look at all the facilities around, they're just growing. There's waiting lists for guys to get in. So just, I'm looking forward to us getting a lot more bigger and, expanding outside of Louisville, hopefully, and just seeing where it goes from there.
I would love to see more support from like big foundations, big corporations. We have so many needs. We have so many people waiting for help. Our programs are expanding so much. I'd love to see just money pouring in here to allow all the dreams that people have to get done. Everything Jennifer wants to do to get done. We need more residential, we need apartments. There's so many needs. So my dream would be that there's just enough cash there to help get everything done that needs to get done.
One, two, three. Cheers to 25 years! Happy birthday, Trisha Queen! Cheers to 25 years! Cheers to 25